Hello and welcome to Culture on I-24 News. I'm Oded Grober. Thank you for joining me. Today on our show, we'll talk to a photographer about his far-flung travels. We'll meet a young Ethiopian-Israeli fashion designer. And we'll hear about the Malawi's Zomba prison project, which is nominated for a Grammy. Culture's Reflections is a documentary photography exhibition at the Jaffa Port presenting the works of 80 photographers that capture faraway people and cultures. With me is photographer Tomasz Zoliński, who traveled to Ethiopia to document the tribe in the Omo Valley. Tomasz, thanks so much for coming in.
All right, thank you for having me.
So what are you presenting at the exhibition?
Well, I'm going to present portraits, actually. All those portraits, there's going to be 7 pictures, only from Omo Valley, from a few different tribes.
Okay, and you traveled there not too long ago, right?
It was in October.
And you spent how long there?
I had only 10 days, so it was a very intensive trip.
And did you know exactly what you're looking for? Did you know what you wanted to come back?
Well, I'm coming from something like this that is good to not expect nothing.
Okay.
You just come for unknown and just be open to everything what is waiting there for me. So I didn't expect nothing. I went to make pictures, and that was enough for me, just to go to make some pictures.
Okay, so what did you find?
Well, I found extremely beautiful nation. Ethiopian people are extremely photogenic, and think every person that I put the lens on was just beautiful and was fascinating me. And all those tribes and all those colors and the jewelry they wear and all those traditions on them, on their body, was just extremely fascinating. I really enjoy seeing them and picture them.
Yeah. How did you find these tribes in the Omo Valley?
Well, we all know that they exist there, and I did a little bit search before I went there.
Yeah.
Where to go and which tribe will be the most interesting to me.
Okay.
And I chose few
Visually
tribes.
speaking,
Visually
or
speaking.
visually speaking?
Visually, because I went for pictures there.
Yeah.
So I chose few tribes and I went for it.
Now, as you said, you did your research. There are a lot of pictures that come from the Omo Valley. You're not the only photographer to go there, and there are tourists who come in, and there are many pictures of these tribes. How do you make it your own? How do you make sure that you bring something of yourself into it?
Well, the idea of my pictures is I'm portraitist. I love portraits, and what I want to show in my pictures is through the single headshot to tell the story, which is portrait. I want to capture the emotion, the facial expression in the people. Mm-hmm. And the story that I'm picturing is, I want the story to be not to the end told. So we'll give you the little bit question mark in the end. So just basically portraits. That's what I like to do. And
now you also shoot portraits in Israel,
yes,
more straight photography as well. Say, I don't know, models and yes, all kind of ad photography and the likes. How different is it to shoot a portrait in a studio in Tel Aviv and shoot a portrait of a woman or a man like this in Ethiopia?
Well, the first difference is the model here don't carry gun with them, Kalashnikov. So that's the main difference, because
it's a lot safer.
Safer, definitely. But it's basically the same. I look for the same thing, for emotion in my pictures. I want to catch something in their eyes that will tell the story.
Yeah.
And, basically, it's the same.
Now there are some stories that you came across there. There are ceremonies that you witnessed that
yes,
you wouldn't witness in Tel Aviv. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, there is a bull jumping ceremony. Every man, when he's coming out of age, mm-hmm, he have to jump the bulls, over the bulls, which is the line up the bulls in the row, about 10, 15 bulls, and he's jumping over them 6 times. If he falls, then he have to wait another year to jump again.
Oh
and only after this he can become a man.
Interesting. And you just observed, you didn't participate, I
observed.
Take it?
I make actually the guy who jumped.
Yeah.
I make him my friend from the beginning. I just introduced myself, and there was no many tourists, so I felt very privileged to be there.
That is, it's not obvious what one would feel comfortable photographing and wouldn't. I mean, how did you know if it's okay to pull out the camera and take pictures or it isn't? Because I'm guessing you don't speak the language.
No. They have so many languages, it's going to be hard to... Basically, it's the eye contact. You know, you can see in your object eye that you can take the lens and shoot. You know, you can see through the eyes. If not, then you ask, or you ask your guide to ask him if I can make picture.
If it's okay, and usually they were okay with you taking
most
picture?
Most of the times they were okay. Some of the times they pushed me away. They didn't want the picture.
Really?
And there was a moment when I shoot from like a low angle from the floor, and the ladies didn't like this angle. They thought maybe I'm picking up something, and they really screamed to me not to make pictures.
So even there is awareness of what's my good angle and what's my bad angle, and making sure you get me from my good angle. All right. Tomasz, you came to Israel not too long ago, right? You're Polish originally, right? And what brought you to Israel?
Well, I'm married to an amazing woman, Israeli, and she just bring me here. And for me, I'm follow your love. No, just came here.
I'm definitely not going to argue that. Tomasz, beautiful pictures. Thanks so much for coming in and telling us about it, and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
All right. Still with the Ethiopian aesthetics, Oshrat Ferede, a graduate of the Miriam Fashion College, is the founder of Fedre Design, which draws inspiration from her Ethiopian background. Daniel Campos and Ran Schneck paid the designer a visit to learn more.
Tel Aviv's vibrant fashion scene is no secret to anyone. Last October, at Tel Aviv's Gindi Fashion Week, we saw it all. From bizarre to pretentious, from classic to modern. But despite the variety seen, there was no trace of Ethiopian design on the catwalk. 31-year-old Ethiopian-Israeli fashion designer Oshrat Ferede is hoping to add this missing touch to the fashion scene through her brand Ferede Designs.
I never thought of aiming for the Ethiopian crowd because I wanted to bring this out. There is something about the traditional Ethiopian dress that it doesn't receive enough exposure. Even if you check around the world what has been done with this, you will see that maybe it advanced a bit, but it's not something mainstream. It's not something seen.
Ferede is slowly beginning to make an impact on the local Israeli fashion scene. Her designs are sold in 6 different boutiques in Tel Aviv and have attracted the attention of local celebrities. The inspiration behind her designs are interwoven with memories from childhood.
I think the way my mom used to dress when I was a little girl, she would dress very neat with tidy hair, and she would invest a lot in it.
Raised in the Israeli coastal city of Ashkelon, Oshrat Ferede never lost touch with the world her parents came from.
Today that I'm a grown-up, I ask more questions because I am curious and it interests me. But I wasn't raised with parents that were yearning in old memories. They wanted to be here, and that was their maximum desire.
Making use of Ethiopian and non-Ethiopian models for her marketing campaign, the designer hopes to reach new audiences after recently releasing her second collection. Now more than ever, the designer feels confident that Ferede Designs will continue to grow.
I do think there is room for my fashion in the city because my line doesn't speak to one specific community. Although I do think that there is a style those who are attracted to my line, women who like the bohemian look, with broadening sections on the body, colorful. I see it blending in the city.
Chinese artist Ai Weiwei has embarked on a humanitarian journey to raise awareness to the ongoing refugee crisis. This new artistic initiative corresponds with other projects he made in China that spoke about human rights and humanitarian issues in the country. More in this report.
Since the end of December and the beginning of January, dissident Chinese artist Ai Weiwei's Instagram account has been overflooded with images of refugees and migrants on the Greek island of Lesbos. Through selfies and documentary photography, the artist raised awareness among his fans about the ongoing refugee crisis. But his actions of empathy don't come as a surprise. Last year in September, a week before the opening of a major retrospective of his work at the London's Royal Academy of Arts, the artist urged Western countries to do more to help the refugees. And last Friday, he announced plans to create a memorial on the Greek island of Lesbos to pay tribute to those drowned in the Aegean Sea between Turkey and Greece.
I don't like anything monumental, but to make people remember what happening, and to remind people, and to bring up this kind of consciousness and a memorial about the people risk their life, and a lot of people lost their life. Over 3,000 people just lost their life under the waves. So we need a memorial.
The artist has already set up a studio in Lesbos and expects participation from his students.
As an artist, I want to be more involved. I want to come out artworks in relating to the crisis, and also created some kind of consciousness about the situation.
More than 1 million migrants and refugees reached Europe this year, mainly fleeing violence in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria, of whom 4 in 5 traveled via the Greek islands. The Chinese dissident lives in Germany since August of 2015. He recently stated to be very proud of the civilized welcome that Germany has given to refugees.
In a moment, we'll hear about the Malawi's Zomba prison project, but first, here's our cultural recommendation for today.
Greta Wegener is featured in the much-talked-about new film The Danish Girl. The artist, who was the partner of Lili Elbe, the first transgender woman, is featured in a large-scale exhibition at the Arken Museum of Modern Art in Copenhagen, the biggest exhibition until today of the work of this pioneering artist. In her colorful work, Wegener was interested in people playing with identity through costume and makeup. In works featuring her partner, Lili poses as a woman in makeup, wigs, and dresses. Wegener's art divided opinion in Denmark, but she enjoyed great success in France, where she became a popular portrait painter and exhibited at the most important annual art exhibitions in Paris.
And now Daniel Campos is joining me in the studio. Hi, Daniel.
Hello, Oded.
So what is this? Because this is a little too weird.
Well, a project from Malawi. It's the first time, first of all, an album from Malawi is being nominated to a Grammy Award.
Yeah,
actually,
it's not just any.
Actually, a second time, because the first album was the Mice Boys from Malawi.
Okay.
We spoke about them a long time ago.
I do remember that, but you managed to top that with this thing.
Indeed, and it's we can say the second time that an album involving we can say a prison is also nominated to a Grammy. Johnny Cash, his album Live at San Quentin was also nominated in 1969, and now we have this.
So what is this?
Prisoners playing the music. That's pretty much the difference.
All right, let's see.
Johnny Cash played for the prisoners. These guys are actually the musicians.
All right. Well, it's nice stuff. What do we know about the backstory, how this came to be?
Well, it's a simple production released on 6 Degrees Records. You can see also the techniques, the way it's being recorded and everything, the type of we can say microphones and instruments. Acoustic folk album, definitely. And what can I say? There's also a documentary which is accompanying the story. Obviously, it's such an interesting story beyond the music. And it's competing against Gilberto Gil, against Angelique Kidjo, which is, and Anushka Shankar, like 3 huge musicians. Who knows if they're going to win? It's an interesting story. They'll have to celebrate inside the prison, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. Who are they even sending to the award ceremony? Who's gonna, if they do get the award, who's gonna come up on stage and give a speech?
Well, on February 15th, it's supposed to be the musical producer, which is obviously Western, and also one of the people managers of the jail will be accompanying him.
All right, you'll keep us posted on their chances and the eventual win or no. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, Adel.
That's it from us for today. I hope you enjoyed our show. We'll be back tomorrow, so you can enjoy it again, and the day after, and the day after. Till then, you can log on to our website, i24news.tv, and check our past shows as well as the latest headlines. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.